Hey, this is part 2 of my monster video on sort of mental abuse and toxic friendships, specifically talking about a old friend of mine who I refer to as Jane, as well as how it relates to both me and another friend of mine who I refer to as Shannon. If you want to watch part 1 as well as all the other subsequent parts, all the links are in the description below. So I will continue where I left off last time. Another thing that did happen with me was last year on my birthday. I hadn't previously made plans with any of my friends in regards to my birthday because I never do. I don't really like celebrating my birthday. On my birthday I would just be perfectly content to just slob on the sofa, a load of snacks, a drink, my laptop, and I'd just play on the Xbox all day, you know. And then when I'm playing New Vegas, again, second time round, I don't really care, it's backwards compatible, I want to play again. Or watching a movie, or just, you know, spending the day with my mum or something like that. I don't really want to celebrate. I don't drink, so I don't want to go out clubbing, I don't want to have a party because I hate parties. I'm not, like I said earlier, I've got social anxiety, so I hate large groups of people. So I was just perfectly okay with that. So on my actual birthday, my mum said, do you want to go and watch the new Star Wars film? It was a week before she said, do you want to go see the Star Wars film on your birthday? I was like, yeah, cool. So the morning of my birthday, I put a message into the group chat, and I was like, you two are coming to me tomorrow or the next day, and we're going to watch movies for my birthday. And Jane's response was to just she completely ignored me, actually. And then she posted a picture to the group, directed at Shannon. And then I replied to it, and then she just kicked me out of the group. No explanation. And then when I messaged her, I think it was later on in the day, she completely ignored me. And then I don't think I spoke to her for another day or two, or something like that. But then when I did ask her about it, I was like, well, why did you kick me out of the group? Why did you ignore me, like, all day? And then her excuse was, I just wanted you to have a good birthday. Okay, kick me out of the group, no explanation, ignore me for the whole day, I want you to have a good birthday. That's not going to make me have a good birthday. That's going to make me think you hate me for the whole day, although she probably did hate me, and even so, she probably hates me now, and I don't really care, to be honest. And yeah, that's not going to make me have a good birthday. That's going to make me feel horrible, and it did. The whole day, I didn't have as good of a day as I probably could have done, because this was just looming over me all day, and I'll say in the end, like, she didn't come to my birthday at all, and she didn't ask whether or not we wanted to meet up for my birthday or anything like that, so I just invited Shannon around. I was like, Shannon, do you want to come around on my birthday? And, you know, or, do you want to come around on, I think it was the 30th she came round, and I was like, do you want to come round and we'll watch West Side Story? And she was like, yeah, I might not be feeling too great, so, because something had happened, so she wasn't feeling too great. I was like, yeah, that's fine, you don't have to be, like, on top of the world or anything, it doesn't really matter, it's up to you if you want to come around anyway. If not, we can, like, push it back to a later date to when you're feeling better. But she did come around, like, bless her, she didn't have to if she wasn't feeling up to it, but she did come around, we did watch West Side Story, we had a really good day, yeah, and it was, like, but Jane didn't, like, sort of ask, oh, do you want to do anything for our your birthday or anything, do you want to, like, us to come around and watch movies or something like that. When, on her birthday, she made such a massive deal about it, and she was like, oh, no one wished me a happy birthday, when she was in Russia at the time, on a uni trip for, like, it was part of her course, which she dropped out of, but she kind of made a big deal about it on her birthday, and she started an argument with me and Shannon again, I think it was like a day or so after her birthday, because, we were playfully having an argument with her brother in regards to films, like, just playfully, and she had a massive go at us about that, and we had a massive fight, and again she made us feel guilty and all that bullshit. At one point she accused me and Shannon of meeting up behind her back without her. She said she was paranoid and she thought that we were meeting up without her, which we weren't, because me and Shannon actually talked about this on Saturday just gone, because that's what we often do, talk about it quite a bit, because with Jane there's just so many things that were left unsaid, but basically we were talking about it, but she accused us of meeting up behind her back without her, and basically slagging her off. we weren't. We didn't. Like, once we bumped into each other on university, like once, and we had like a brief 5-minute conversation because I was late, she was going home, so we kind of just, you know, just thought, oh hi, how are you, how are things going, how's your course, we're gonna have to talk again later, yeah, see you later, bye. And then I think again when we were walking home, like I saw her further up the road and I like ran up to her and I was like, oh my god, Shannon, and we had about a 5-10 minute conversation or something. And then she went home, I went home, and we spoke later on that evening. And she made it seem like it was a bad thing that we weren't allowed to meet without her, when Jane had met with Shannon and with me separately on our own on multiple occasions. So I don't understand. Well, neither of us quite understand on how it's a bad thing that we could meet without her, because it's not like, you know, the three of us are friends. It's not like we were allowed to meet with other people, and so it's just, I'm not sure what to say other than just the usual, just the regular stuff of just, oh yeah, you can't do this, you can't do that, because, like, really, she's making it seem, she made it seem like it was bad that we were meeting without her when we weren't. And I mean, actually, she accused us of this, and me and Shannon went into our separate little private conversation, and we were like, oh, do you want to meet up in the library on Wednesday? Because she had accused us of meeting up without her, we secretly started meeting up in the library, because we thought, well, why can't we do this? It's not like there's a law that we can't do this. So we started meeting up in secret without her. Mainly because, as well, she would start plans, or she would plan things, and she would make it seem like you had to plan things just weeks and weeks and weeks in advance, when you don't. You just, like, one time with me and Shannon, she literally messaged me on a Saturday, and she was like, what are you doing tomorrow? And I was like, well, nothing, I was probably just going to play Sims all day. And she was like, oh, do you want to meet up? Do you want to go downtown? Do you want to, like, go to Costa and have lunch? And I was just like, cool. And then we were like, what time? 12:30? Yeah, 12:30's good. Yeah, okay, I'll see you at 12:30 tomorrow. And that was it. And we were just like, lol, spontaneous plans. And, like, there's just something that you do, you know, you can just, like, make spontaneous plans. You don't have to plan things weeks in advance. And one thing that Jane often does is she'll plan things and she'll cancel them the night before they happen. Or there'll be like a massive argument the day before, so the next day is really, really awkward, so you're like, oh, what do you say, what do you say? And usually it's me. I'm the one that usually gets kicked out of the conversations. I'm apparently usually the one that's in the wrong when I'm not. I'm just defending myself because she's saying all these horrible and slanderous things to me and about me. And, like, there's been, I think it was for Shannon's Shannon's 18th, there was this massive, massive fight beforehand, like, the day before, and, like, it was like, well, what are we gonna do? Like, I got uninvited, even though I had the presents that we bought, that I don't think she ever did pay me back for, but, like, I bought half of the presents, that we got for her. Like, she made the cake and everything, she bought some chocolate, but I bought her, like, it was this, these Lego minifigs, yeah, we had this massive fight the day before. I got kicked out of the group, again, I got blocked, again, I got unfriended, again. That's happened about 4 or 5 times, to the point where eventually I actually told my therapist about it, and she was like, if she adds you again, don't do it. I didn't. I hadn't officially been friends with her on Facebook since December, and we were still talking way until about April time, so all that time we hadn't been friends. There's another point I want to make on the friend thing on Facebook soon. But yeah, on Shannon's 18th, there was a massive fight beforehand, and then she messaged me the morning before, or the morning of, sorry, and she was like, are you still going to come around? I really don't want to ruin this day for Shannon. I'll try not and make it awkward, but after this, we're never speaking again, which is another thing that she often says, we're never speaking again. And I was like, fine, but only for Shannon. And then on the way there, I saw Shannon actually at a bus stop, and we walked sort of to her house, and we kind of discussed what happened the night before. And she waited in a park that was just around the corner from Jane's house. And I went to Jane's house, and like I was like, oh, Shannon, yeah, come round about half an hour or something like that. I'm only going early because I need help her like sort of set up. So yeah, I went to Jane's house and we set up, and literally the whole day was fine. It wasn't awkward, she wasn't pretending, and then literally in the evening everything was fine again, and that's usually what happens, because I think there was this movie week we had like 2 years ago. I was literally invited last minute, so I was like, okay, yeah, fair enough, I'll go. She would like usually start things like an argument the night before to make the next day awkward, but then it wasn't, and then everything would be fine again. At one point she kicked me and Shannon out of her house because apparently I didn't trust her, when literally it was just something I didn't want to tell her, because I've had a bad experience with friends in the past. I've had many bad experiences with friends in the past. Like, there's some things I might tell them and they'll make fun of me for it and things like that, and I want to say no offence to Jane, but Jane is that type of person that if you tell her something, especially if you're quite uncomfortable with, or something you don't like, she'll make fun of it and she'll bring it up time and time again, and just things like that. So that's the reason why I didn't want to tell her. And then she was like, oh, you don't trust me, and literally kicked me and Shannon out of the house, and she was like, oh, I'm sorry, Shannon, but you two are going to have to go. And then she sent us a load of like quite abusive messages later on, and she was like, oh yeah, it's over, blah 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 blah, and things like that. And there's, just because I didn't want to tell her one thing, like, she found out what it was later on, not through me but through someone else, and I was like, oh yeah, I already knew. That's what I didn't want to tell you, because, no offence, but because of a bad experience with friends in the past, I was just scared that you were going to make fun of me for it, you were going to joke about it, you were going to make me feel really uncomfortable, and because it's happened before, it's happened so many times before. Like, pretty much most of my friends that I have had have joked and made fun of things that make me feel uncomfortable, that I don't like, and it kind of just makes me feel shit as well. So it's kind of just this defensive thing that I don't trust anyone, apart from Shannon probably. There's like, I could probably count the people on my hand that I trust, like fully trust. Well, actually, no, maybe not even fully trust, that's how bad it is. But it's just a defensive mechanism, and she made it out to seem like it was a bad thing, when like pretty much everyone else would understand. Like, she's had a bad experience with friends in the past before, although now we've actually fully experienced her friendship. It's probably her own fault that people don't stick around with her, because she does push people away and she does make people feel like shit. And back onto the point before,